Alright, so that's it for today's episode of Inspired Moment with Jumoke. I hope you've learned one or two things, and I really look forward to seeing your practice work. Try these and share with us on our Facebook group, the Inspired Design School of Fashion. Also, try to follow us on Instagram and on Facebook at the Inspired Design. But most importantly, you should subscribe to our channel on YouTube and on Telegram. They are 100% free, and we'll have other videos apart from these ones on those channels. On YouTube, just search for the Inspired Design School of Fashion, and on Telegram, on your Telegram, search for channel Inspired Moments with Jumoke. So on that channel, I have all the previous videos, and you have access to all the videos will be uploading after this time. So that's it. See you next week Sunday when I come up with another DIY project that you can work with. Have a wonderful week. Bye. Usually when I make shoe, I draft my home pattern, and in all my classes where we make adult shoe. But for this baby shoe, I'm not going to be drafting. At least for this class, I will not be drafting the pattern myself. I'm making use of a printable pattern. Okay, so this pattern is made by Shwin and Shwin, and I found it online. It's free, so I will attach the link to the site so that you can download it, and it's for children age 0 to 12 months. So we have the pattern for 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, and then 6 to 12 months. And okay, so in the pattern, this is the sole, and this is the main part of the shoe. So now what I'm going to do is I want to make the shoe for a 3-month-old. I mean, between 0 to 3 months is a baby, so I'll be making use of this, but I don't want to waste this old pattern. So what I will do is to trace the pattern I need onto a cardboard, and this cardboard is also thick. It makes it easy to cut your pieces, and I'll be making use of this Ankara fabric, African prints. You can make use of any fabric you like. In fact, I'll still be making use of satin, but I want to do this first. So the first thing now is I'm going to place my pattern I've printed, and I'm going to use my tracing wheel to trace the parts that I need onto the cardboard. I'm going to trace this first. So for this one, for 0 to 3 months, I have to cut from here. If it's 3 to 6 months and 6 to 12 months, I will use this upper one. So for 0 to 3 months, I'm going to cut here and here like this. So I'm going to trace it onto my cardboard. Trace carefully. Okay. Now both the sole and the main part of the shoe has been traced onto this paper. So I'm just going to cut it out with my scissors. I'll make sure that I cut carefully. So with pattern pieces cut out, now I've cut the material I'll be using, and then you have to cut 4 pieces, because I'm using the same material for the lining and the main piece. So if you are using, you can use a contrasting fabric, you can use a plain fabric for the inside, for the outside, and use pattern inside. So you can choose how you want it, but you must make sure that the fabric you cut, they are contrasting this thing. I mean, because this is the outer part of the shoe. It's going to come this way. So this is going to be the outer side where ordinarily the buckle will be, but I will not be putting buckle. I will just be putting I'll be using this ribbon, red ribbon, to tie it, and this is the base. So this now is the inside, and this smooth side is the outside of the shoe. So this is going to come this way. That means when I'm cutting my sole for the inner piece, you fold your fabric into two and cut, because what you have must be left and right. And then if you are using fabric with pattern, you have to make sure and ensure that they look at least similar to an extent, so that it won't look as though they are two different shoes. So the patterns are cut, and I'm also making a gold one, and for the gold I'm using this silver ribbon for the buckle. So now I'm going to iron on this fusible fleece onto the main part. So this is quite thick. You can use a lighter one, but this is what I'll be using. So I'll use it for the main fabric, and for the lining piece I'm not going to use any interfacing. So let me iron on the interfacing, then we'll start stitching. Okay, we already have the interfacing ironed to our main fabric. So the sole piece and then the top piece, but for the lining piece we're not going to be putting interfacing. So now I'm going to cut the ribbon. So I'm using this ribbon. You can use the bigger one, but not too big, because you don't want your ribbon swallowing the whole shoe itself. So I'm just going to take 8 inches. I'll cut off the excess. It's better that it's too long than too short. So I'm going to be cutting 2 per one. We're going to be needing 2 8 inches for each side of the shoe. So now I'm going to place, this is my main piece. I'll look for the right side of the lining piece. So I'm placing right side on right, right facing right, and matching it up. But before then I need to place my ribbon. So the ribbon is going to come on top of the shoe as like a shoelace, like a buckle to tie the shoe, to hold it to the baby's foot. So now I'll be placing it like 1 inch away from, you see this corner here. So I'm just going to mark like 1 inch and place the first ribbon around that side. So let me just, okay, let's look for the 1 inch mark. Okay, the ribbon has a right side and a wrong side, so I want to make sure that I'm placing it right. So like 1 inch, and then I'll pin it to this place. Then towards this end, because the other ribbon is supposed to come at this other side, but we know this is going to be joined to this other side, and this will be the side. So I'm just going to attach this as close, the second ribbon will be as close to the edge here as possible. I'll just be leaving the space I'll be using to join. The pattern, it already has a 1/4 inch joining allowance, as in sewing allowance, so we're not adding extra. So I'm just going to leave a little above that 1/4 inch, and then attach this. I don't want it too far from that side. Okay, then I'm going to place the right side on top, I mean the lining piece, then stitch along this edge, this inner edge. We're going to place it together and stitch. Once your stitching is done, I'm going to flip to the right side and then top stitch all around the edge, but I will not top stitch this end. At least I will leave like 1/4 inch. Then I can now flip it open. So we're going to stitch this, then flip it open like this to join these two ends with that 1/4 inch allowance. Just going to join it and stitch. Okay, maybe I should just stitch and then come back and show you that. Okay, so I've done the stitching. So before top stitching now, I'm just going to notch all around these corners, just to make turning it easy. make sure you don't cut into your stitch. Then turn it to the right side, top stitch around the edges. Don't top stitch around this way so that it will be easy to join. Then once you've done that, we're going to flip it open this way and join this side. You make sure you don't catch your ribbon in between, so I'm just going to join with a straight stitch here. Okay, so it's all done. Now we're going to open it up this way, and then excuse me, you need to find the center of the toe. And okay, before I go on, one thing, because you have to take note, this sole may look the same and is not really different, but it is. This is the side that will be the inside of the foot. This is the toe area. You can see that it's a little bit higher than this side, so make sure you take note when you are attaching. And this is the side where the joining will be. This is like the side, the outside of the foot, where you usually have your buckle. So because if you don't match it correctly, if you don't place it where it's supposed to be, it will not match up correctly. So this is the toe. Now this side, this sewn part, is what will be at this side, which is where we have the small toe. I mean, when I said the toe, I meant the big toe. This is the one that is a little bit higher. It's usually a little bit higher than the smaller toe here. So that's it. So this small side, this joining must come at this side. So I'm going to place right side. This is the right side of the main one with the right side of the main sole. Then you find the middle. Find the middle of the toe. I'm not going to notch because I don't want to cut so much into the fabric, so I'm just going to find the middle here, and then at the back of the heel, the middle. I'll do the same thing with the sole. Find the center. Okay, and then the center for the heel. Then right side against right side, I'm going to match it up. Okay. Make sure you just put your ribbon inside. Don't let it get caught in the stitch. And then we'll match up the heel. Okay. So once that is done, go to the sewing machine and stitch this all around. We're going to stitch it all around. Then for the lining piece, we're going to do the same. But when we are doing the lining piece, we're going to leave a little bit of opening, maybe at the side here. That's where we'll turn it out. So I'm going to also find the center of this and stitch, but leave a little opening. Then we'll turn it out and our shoe will be ready. Let me join that. Okay. So this is my opening, just enough for you to turn it out. And then I'm just going to trim off all the excess so that it can lay down flat. And I'm using my pinking shear. If you don't have, you can just use your scissors, then notch it. Okay, so that place is not too bulky when you turn. Okay, so you can just trim this one also. Alright, let's turn. so it's all torn. This is the inside, this is the part we left unsewn. So you can just take your needle and thread, or you can join it with your machine. Just stitch this, then turn to the right side. Okay, our tiny shoe is ready. Oh, see, I almost caught the ribbon in the stitching, so you have to be very careful, otherwise you just have to start all over again, and it's usually very painful. So this is it. Looks so tiny and pretty. Just make sure all your edges are well turned out, and then we can knot or tie the ribbon. Okay, if you want the ribbon to come a little bit more, to the front, that means you wouldn't use the 1 inch that we use. You just use maybe 3/4 or something. So it depends on what you want. Knot your ribbon very well, and then we have our shoe is all set. Alright, so it's as simple as that. It doesn't require too much, and you don't even need a sewing machine to make this. It's so tiny that you can easily stitch it with needle and thread, and it will still come out nice. The baby is not going to be working on it. So hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Inspired Moments with Jumoke. My name is Jumoke Olaguju, and in today's episode we'll be deviating a little bit from the dressmaking. We'll be doing a lot of dressmaking. We want to give other people with other interests a chance. So today we'll be making this beautiful baby shoe with African prints. You can make it with any kind of fabric. Babies grow up very fast, that spending lots of money on buying shoes that they will not even work on may not be so, it's not something you want to do. And then, well, it's so easy to make, and you can use any fabric. So you can make different shoes to match different fabric, and so even if you don't have a sewing machine, you can easily make this. I'll be making it. I'll be showing you how to make this with a pattern, a PDF printable pattern that you can print and cut it out to use it to cut your fabric. So it's so easy. It requires no prior knowledge of shoemaking or anything like that. So I'll share the link to the pattern on our YouTube channel, and then on the Telegram channel. I may not be able to share it on Facebook, but please try and just download the link. If you are not yet following our channel on Telegram or on YouTube, try and do so that you can get access to all our previous videos and subsequent ones. Alright, so let's begin.